Hi guys, welcome back to Harry Makes It Up. We're going to do a look today on my lovely model Jade. We're going to do a kind of day to night, desk to disco kind of makeup. So perfect for the party season, a few products that you can use to get ready in the morning and then a few extra products to help you go from your desk to kind of disco makeup look. So we've prepped Jade's skin and I've used a bit of the Laura Mercier Silk Cream Foundation and I've used peach ivory and a little bit of rose ivory just to even out the skin. And the reason I mention these squeezy tubes is because they're really nice and easy to kind of keep in your bag. So if you do have to do any touch-ups later on, using these will be really easy and quick. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work on Jade's eyes first. And I'm going to take a bit of the Nars Pro Primer. I'm just going to pop that over the eyelid. And I'm just going to use my ring finger just to kind of blend that in a little bit. So the first product I'm going to use on Jade is one of these pencils by Gosh, and it's called the Forever Eyeshadow Stick. This one is called Silver Rose, and I think it's a really nice colour. I think what's great as well about these kind of crayon pencils is they are so easy to work with, and they're really nice and small and thin to keep in your handbag. So I'm going to use this kind of over the base of the lash line first, and kind of in the inner corner to brighten a little bit. And I'm just going to smudge that with my finger. So this would be your kind of desk daytime makeup look. I'm just going to take, and I'm using quite a little amount, I'm not really kind of going full on with the product. Then using the same stick, I'm just kind of highlighting that inner corner. So I'm going in with Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Palette, and I'm going to use a mix of kind of medium brown just to see how dark I need to go with Jade's brows because they're naturally quite dark. So I don't want to go too full on, I just want to, Jade's got a really nice natural shape anyway and nice fullness, so I'm just going to fill in any gaps just with my brush just to fill them out a little bit more and just make the ends kind of taper off into a bit more of a neater arch. And then using a spoolie as well as I go along, just to brush that through. So because it's a work kind of daytime look, rather than use kind of a black liner, I'm just going to accentuate Jade's eyes using this Nars Stylo liner. And this is kind of like a dark grey slate colour, but it's quite matte, so it's quite nice for the daytime. So I'm just going to line Jade's lash line. I'm going to go literally leaning this on the eye. And again, something like a liner pen is good, I think, to kind of top up throughout the day without having like a messy gel pot. Open for me. And I'm going to go right into the inner corner because Jade's eyes can carry it. But if you had smaller eyes, you could just go from halfway. And I'm going to give Jade's lashes a little curl. So look right down for me, Jade. So just keep looking at your knee for me. I'm just going to lift the lash in. Does that feel okay? Yep. Give those, I think curling your eyelashes in the morning as well, it just gives them that little bit more lift. And because we're doing a look that's kind of going to take us from day to night, I do think if you can start with a waterproof mascara, that's definitely going to hold a curl better in place and stay on a bit longer. So I'm just using False Lash Effect by Max Factor, which is one of my favourites. I really do love this mascara. Really lacquer the lashes up. So you can see with the grey liner, it really does create like a nice soft flick that's kind of appropriate for daytime. It opens up the eyes, but it's not as stark as black, so it's just nice and subtle. And then one product we're going to use again later, but I think for your morning routine is nice to add, is something like the Rimmel Scandaleyes, the Kohl Kajal. I'm just going to add the black just inside the waterline so that the eyes look really nice and awake and clean. Way down just so it looks really clean and polished. I'm just going to add a little bit of concealer. I'm going to add a little bit of the No. 2 Loreal Match Perfection. And I'm going to use a Real Techniques setting brush. Look up for me, Jade. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this under the eyes and a little bit it's quite yellow, this concealer, so it's quite good for counteracting any redness left in the skin. So just a little bit around the nose. So just keep that skin nice and fresh. Use your concealer as well to really lift the cheekbones. So I'm going to give Jade's lips a little bit of lip lining. I'm just going to use a little bit of the Bobbi Brown Pale Pink, so that it will just give a bit of brightness to the lips. And I'm just going to ever so slightly over Jade's top lip on the top. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit of kind of like balmy serum on. This is by the Clarins Eclat Minute, which is really nice. It's like an instant light natural lip perfector. And this is the shade 01, which is slightly pinky, but I think it's quite nice for work because I wouldn't say it's quite a lip gloss and it's not kind of fully a lip balm. It's somewhere in between. So you get the moisture and a little hint of colour, but without it looking too full on for work. So I'm going to use a bit of one heck of a blot powder just where Jade needs it. So just using a Japanese art shop brush, I'm just going to take a little bit of that down the middle of the face. So I'm going to take Orgasm. This is a blusher, powder blusher by Nars, and it's a really nice, very low level shimmer kind of powder. It's kind of pink and gold reflects, with a little bit of peach, so it's quite a nice universal suitable shade. I'm going to take the Bobbi Brown Sheer powder brush, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of that on the apples of the cheeks. I think for daytime, I think it's better to look nice and healthy rather than having too much of a contour. So obviously each to their own, so if you want to add a contour to this look, it'll be really easy to do. But I'm just using a little bit of that Nars blusher, just to add a little bit of brightness, a little bit of glow. So that's the finished look on the first side of things, guys. So this will be a really beautiful makeup, nice and clean for the office or for work, and nice and simple as well. So now we're going to take it up to the party look. So the next thing I'm going to use, again going back to those kind of Gosh crayons, which are really long lasting and they're waterproof as well. It's the Gosh Forever eyeshadow stick, but this one is in grey, and it's got that really nice kind of shimmer running through it. Nice and easy to just add on if you're at the office getting ready to go out afterwards. So I'm going to go all over the lid, so go even over that liner, and we're going to wing it out slightly. So use the flick, the liner you kind of did earlier, as your guide. So you can see I'm just taking this all over the lid. I'm going to go to about the socket, and it's really beautiful, kind of sparkly grey. I'm going to go to about there, and then I'm going to start to blend it out. So I'm going in with a MAC 217, and I'm going to keep that winged shape because I think it's really flattering to the eye, especially for evening. It just really pulls things out. So you can see having that flick just gives a really nice kind of cat eye feel, but you've made it really easy for yourself by having your outline to start with. So I'm just going to, from the kind of winged part if you like, make a small V and then blend that out a bit as well, so it goes a little bit more smoky into the crease. So I'm going to go back to the Kohl pencil I used earlier, the Rimmel Scandaleyes one, and I'm just going to darken up Jade's lash line a little bit. So if you turn that way for me, Jade, and close, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of this all along the root and a little bit kind of up that winged shape. And I'm going to take a slightly rounder brush, so this is a Nars 14 brush, and I'm just going to blend that along just to kind of darken the lash line. And we're going to add some falsies as well, just to this look, to kind of give you an idea how working on top of this look you could get a much more dramatic look. And I'm also going to take a little bit of that along the bottom lash line as well. So if you look up for me, Jade. So I'm just going to take that into the eyes. Don't worry if your eyes water. And I'm going to do a few dots over. And just smoke those dots out. And then I'm just joining up towards what we did earlier. And then just using your Q-tip again, just to soften that lower edge. So it all stays really nice and soft, so that you've got that crisp outer shell here, kind of on the outer part of the eye. And I'm going to show you how we're going to fill that in after we put the lashes on. So I think as well, for a party look, one of the quickest ways to kind of update your look is just add a pair of lashes. The Millie Mackintosh lashes for Novo lashes are really, really good, and I really like the pair that are called Mayfair. So we're going to pop those on Jade as well. So I've left the glue to dry for about sort of, I'd say about 20 seconds, and I'm just going to attach them to Jade's lash line. So I'm just popping them kind of resting on top of Jade's natural lashes, and then you just want to kind of hold them in place while the glue attaches. If it doesn't stick straight away, it probably means it's not quite dry yet, so just leave it a little bit longer to go a little bit more tacky. So I want to add some mascara to the top and bottom just to blend both those lashes through. So I'm going back to my waterproof Max Factor mascara. I'm going to add some to the top and bottom. Just look up for me, Jade. So I'm just going to pop that on the bottom lash. Does anyone ever tell you look like Perry from Little Mix, Jade?
No, I haven't actually heard that before.
Apart from me.
Apart from you.
Maybe if anyone else watching thinks Jade looks like Perry from Little Mix, we might have to do that as a tutorial another time, if Jade will let me use her face again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the nude Scandaleyes pencil by Rimmel. Where we left that little gap earlier, I'm just going to kind of extend that gap. So if you turn that way for me, Jade, I'm just going to pop a bit of nude liner just under that line, which is just going to make it look really clean. And also when we kind of join up underneath a little bit, there'll be more of a kind of gap. So then I'm just going to take a really small brush. This is the Zoeva Detail Shader. And just using the kind of crayon we did earlier, I'm just going to dab a little bit of that onto the brush. And just look up for me, Jade. And then just kind of carry on extending that bottom line out a little bit. So it's like a mimic shadow. So it's not too full on, but it kind of keeps that gap in place where we wanted it. And it just extends that bottom eye lash line a little bit more. And then the last little touch I'm going to add to the eyes is going back to the original crayon we used for the kind of daytime look, is I'm going to pop this as a really nice highlight in the inside of the corner of the eye. So I'm just going to really make that inside corner pop so it looks really nice. And you can blend it as much as you want, but I actually quite like the contrast of it being quite like a strong pop of colour. So this is kind of an optional step which you can add or you can choose to leave, but I think if you are genuinely going des to disco, I feel a bit of Reflex by MAC always looks really, really effective and cool. So I'm going to take a bit of Reflex Pearl, and this kind of works better with your finger. So I'm going to pop that over the eye, like a little bit of extra shimmer. And what you'll find with these is that's really nice is it doesn't really take away from it being a dark eye underneath. So it doesn't kind of change the colour of the eye too much. So if you've done a nice kind of grey sparkly eye, you're still going to see that it's a grey smoky eye underneath. So you'll be seeing stars now, Jade. Glitter everywhere. Yeah, it's literally like flying around the studio now. Keep most of it in the kind of centre of the eyelid, I would. I think that's where you'll get that nice pop of light if you do it that way. Check I've not got shimmer all over my fingers before I put the lip back on. Just another little dot of that lip balmy Clarins Instant Light. So I'm going to take a bit of Nars Laguna just to add kind of a bit of warmth to the skin and kind of in between a bronze and a contour. So I'm going to use a big Bobbi Brown powder brush. And turn that way for me, Jane. So I'm just going to take that a little bit into the cheekbone, a little bit on the chin and the neck as well, just to warm everything up. So that's the finished look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching that. Keep an eye out for the 10K giveaway, which will be coming very, very soon. So I'll leave all my social media icons at the end of the video for you to check and follow. And I hope you have fun at your Christmas parties or whatever kind of work dues you've got coming up. And I think this is a really nice way to go from work to the after party. So if you try the look, send me pictures of how you've done it on Instagram at Harry Makes It Up. And I'll see you soon. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.